The only thing that you can do wrong is not being yourself. The internet's here. It's a complete land grab. There's unlimited opportunity. Nobody cares where you started. Nobody's stopping you. The internet gives us opportunity for things to happen quick, but the reality is the people in this room that will win are the ones that take it slow.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Gary Vaynerchuk, and my take on his top 10 rules to success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, communicate.
When are you gonna start talking? What are you waiting for? If you are not communicating, you don't exist. I believe that. If you are not communicating, you do not exist. More importantly, communicate about what you love. What scares me about the long tail of the internet is I know there's somebody sitting in here who's watched every episode of Friends, okay? Deeply loves Friends. Can't get enough in their own mind of debating Rachel and Ross. Loved the show. Watch it every night to go to sleep to, and I know they make $49, $62, $88, $103,000 a year doing something they don't like. And I know that if they started a podcast about Friends every day when they went home, instead of consuming content to escape the fact that they don't like their job, if they created content around the thing they love, that after 24, 36, 48 months, that along could have came Netflix and been a sponsor of that podcast that would allow them to actually leave that job they hate and now be a full-time Friends podcaster. You don't believe that. I understand that. That seems like a far-fetched story to you. The problem is you don't live my life because I wrote a book in 2009 called Crush It that laid this out, and I get to live the best life now where I get 3 to 6 emails a day of people that tell me this exact story. Whether it's about pickles. People like pickles. I do too. I eat pickles like crazy. Star Trek. Esports, don't even get me started because I used to push it a lot and people have gone completely and made real careers in that. Just stuff. I just really hope you hear me today.
Rule number 2, be grateful.
I'm completely driven by gratitude. Do you know how grateful I am? Like, do you know, what did I do? My parents had sex at this one moment and created me. Like, I'm being serious, I'm just grateful. Like, I have such a good thing going. People like it, I like it, it's so good. But like, what did I do? Like, do you know how lucky I was that I was an immigrant? Do you know how much I'm driven by a chip on my shoulder? Do you know how lucky I got that I was 4'11" when I went into freshman year of high school? Like, all these things went in my favor. I don't know, man, I'm driven by gratitude. Every morning I wake up and I'm just grateful. Grateful, grateful, grateful. I'm 42 years old almost, and thank you. And unfortunately, my grandparents, 3 of my 4 grandparents died before I got to know them. So not only was I born in a communist country where capitalism and entrepreneurship is on, I went to the place where it's most on a pedestal. I got the greatest mom in the world. My dad taught me work ethic, and my word, which made me not a bullshit artist, saved my ass, right? But then on top of everything else, I've had very little death or pain around me, and I'm 42 years old. It's unfortunate why that's the case, given the circumstances before, but it's still my reality, right? And then I have a communication style that for some reason, who knew? Don't forget I was 33 years old before I even made a video. Like I never thought this could be real. Like I didn't even cross my mind. I was a businessman. Like watching 20-year-olds that are hungry and thinking about their lives, right? I'm excited because I'm like, bro, you don't have any clue where this might go, because at 31 years old, I'm like, maybe I'll make a video on this YouTube thing. Like, you have no idea where it's going. So I'm completely driven by gratitude. I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful.
Rule number 3, don't overjudge yourself.
There's a really dirty secret in the strategy world of like Bain and McKinsey, where if you really get them drunk, they admit that the actions lead to the strategy, not the other way around. That's my answer to you. How? I make decisions. And then I try to look at my calendar the week ahead and see if any decisions I made 4 weeks earlier that made me think this was a good use of time. Am I able to move something, cut something down? I'm extremely thoughtful about cutting times of meetings. So one of the things I think that really make me successful is understanding a 7-minute meeting is real, and not just making it a 30-minute meeting. But the real reason is because I don't overthink it. I'm operating my business, I'm in it. How do I decide between going to dinner with Kevin Hart because I can and I want to build top of the funnel brand, or do I go take a mid-level client that I'm trying to build a relationship with? It's, you ask every normal person, it seems like those aren't super close, but I can touch the pulse and be like, I'm going to LA 4 more times in the next 3 months. The biggest mistakes I make are the ones of missed opportunities of the things by being crippled by opportunity. When you actually level that all up, my friend, it really is liberating. You will never even come close to making the right decision. I mean it. You just don't know what the alternative would be. People think that there's a right answer. You as an operator of your business, make the right call that feels right at that moment and just move. And people spend all this time and money on trying to think that there's a proper answer. I play on the extremes. I spend as much time as possible on the things that are showing me the most offense, right? However you're doing your customer acquisition to get to a hundo on a product like that, like whether it's Facebook, whether it's brand, and then I spend the amount of time on my biggest vulnerability. Putting my finger in the holes to make sure the boat doesn't sink, and building a bigger boat, and nothing in the middle. And knowing that I'm making that judgment at all times, and the second I get new data a week later, I might have to completely change what I thought was right the week before. It's also why I spend a ton of time with my employees. The reason I'm an HR-driven CEO is if you really understand this, both your biggest growth and your biggest vulnerabilities are actually your own team. So I think it's it starts with the ability not to overjudge yourself, because that is the liberator of the model I just broke down for you.
Rule number 4, provide value.
If you don't provide real, actual value to people in exchange for the money that you're asking for in return, you will lose over time. It happens every time. You might be able to make some quick cash, but you will never win long term, and you will go through the same shit over and over. There are plenty of 30, 40, 50-year-olds in here who go up and down, up and down, up and down, because their stuff is horse and it's not coming from the right place, and they're looking to make a quick buck, and some character on stage says that they got a process that's gonna make it happen fast, and they're wrong.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, check out my 254 series, where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you an unlisted video. The science says it takes up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. So I'm going to be with you every step of the way. If you want to be on for free, 100% free, is a link below. Go check it out. I'll see you there.
The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. I think everybody here, if I told them, everything is gonna be okay, you can have everything you want, now, what are you gonna do with your day? I think a lot of people know. I always choose positivity. I look at other people around me, it's not just about me, that are winning, they choose positivity. I look at the people around me that are not winning, that are not progressing, that are not advancing, they're choosing negativity.
Rule number 5, keep trying.
You guys know Grey Goose? The guy who invented that as an entrepreneur invented it at 78. Sidney Frank, 78 years old. Life is like sports. Like, one of the great moments of my life with AJ is the Monday Night Miracle at the Meadowlands with the Jets Dolphins. That shit was 30-7 in the fourth quarter. And they won. They came all the way back. My cousin left, went home to Queens, went to sleep. I called him when they tied it at 30 and said, can you believe this shit? He's already sleeping. He left that game and was already sleeping in Queens. I was like, what are you talking about? Hung up. And then the Dolphins scored and made it 37-30, and we blamed Bobby for waking up. But like, that's life. Like, you could do everything wrong, have every dream you've ever had get f***ed up, blame it on other people, the girl f***ed it up, that injury f***ed it up, coach f***ed it up, blame everybody, have everything go wrong, be 57 years old, and still have 40 years to make it right. It's crazy, honestly. Like, if there was some crazy new drug that I could like inject in you that gave you perspective of time, you guys too, that's the drug I would give you. Straight up. It makes you optimistic. People are sitting here dwelling already. Dwelling already. I shouldn't have come to Rutgers. I knew it. Of course there's people thinking that. Like, that's just real life. Dwelling already, haven't even started. Man, that's what I want to change.
Rule number 6, be yourself.
The only thing that you can do wrong is not being yourself. I see a lot of people scared to actually be themselves because they're scared who's watching. And they, like, I hate looking at all your LinkedIn accounts. You've got like a suit and tie, looking all professional. Like, you think something bad's gonna happen if you're normal. I look like a mess up here. I'm wearing a Tierra Whack sweatshirt. Like, the results always win. And I think a lot of people hold back their natural self. The market doesn't care in the end. Somebody may judge you, but the market doesn't care.
Rule number 7, over-listen.
I spend all my time listening. The reason I want people to leave comments is I read them. I read all the comments. I read the ones that say that I'm the best, read the ones that say that I'm the worst, I read the one, and all I do is I listen. It's so funny, I get made fun of when I ask Gary Vee because I'm always interrupting people. It's because I've gotten so good at listening, I know what the people are gonna say before they say it. I just wanna move on, you know? So one of the ways to get the next clients is to never let the last client fail. The only way not to let a client fail is to over-listen and provide them what they want at all costs, which is why I always push against people selling to the bottom, because the bottom doesn't know what to do with it, and then you're never gonna win, you're just gonna keep regurgitating the bottom. And so that's how I did it. I did it first, and then I listened very carefully to the first 20 clients to make sure there was no chance that there was gonna be any vulnerability, and I built on the word of mouth of our quality deliverables for the client.
Rule number 8, try different things.
Everybody's got so much pressure to like have it figured out when they come out of school. Like, it's time to be real and real life and all that shit. It's f***ing stupid. 22 to 30 should be experimenting. Travel, if you, like, and people are like, well, I don't have money. I'm like, you can still travel. You can get a bullshit plane ticket. You can take a bus, like, do shit. So I think you're not gonna find what you like, it's like food. I'm always fascinated by oysters. The amount of people that think they hate oysters, even though they've never had one, I see so many people living life that way. You don't know your passion because you haven't done shit, Billy.
Rule number 9, take action.
I learned from so much doing. That's why my data is so clean. It's why I'm an innovator. It's why I'm fast. It's why a lot of good things happen for me, because I realized just the doing is actually more efficient than the thinking about it. Somebody said something really funny to me once, and it was like the dig of this version, and it's a really funny conversation. He was talking about VaynerMedia at the time. This was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. He said, you know, Gary, I gotta tell you, I love your company, but I gotta take a little bit of a knock on you. He was trying to set it up. I'm like, okay, what is it? He goes, where I think you need to be more thoughtful, Gary, is I have a feeling though that you might run through that glass panel and sit with us when you could have just opened the door. And I said, yeah, but which one was cooler?
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is seize the opportunity.
The internet's here. It's a complete land grab. There's unlimited opportunity. Nobody cares where you started. Nobody's stopping you. There's nobody that's gotta take your resume. There's no grades that matter. None of it. What matters is, are you willing to hustle? And how bad do you want it? And are you willing to live a life where you're not letting other people judge you? So then you're not pandering to it.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. That's not enough. But when you write down what time, what place, and how you're going to actually take action on it, you jump to 91% chance of following through. And when you have public accountability and you commit to other people that you're gonna do it, it jumps to 95% that you will follow through. So I want that for you, Believe Nation. I wanna know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
The level of disrespect I have for anybody under 35 that wants it tomorrow is so high, in a good way. I'm not mad at you. I just think that it's a very interesting time to be alive because the internet gives us opportunity for things to happen quick, but the reality is the people in this room that will win are the ones that take it slow. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want 10 more amazing rules from Gary Vee, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I think people get too high when they get cheered. I think the reason people struggle when people shit on them in comments is because they're taking other people's opinions way too serious. The best way